The original Newark Bears were a AA and then AAA farm team for the New York Yankees in the International League from 1926 to 1949 and played their home games at Rupert Stadium, named after Jacob Rupert in 1932, the man who built the New York Yankees farm system. They played as a AA team from 1926 to 1944, as AAA baseball had not existed yet. After a year off in 1945, AAA baseball had formed for the 1946 season, and the Newark Bears were now officially a AAA affiliate of the New York Yankees. As so were the Kansas City Blues, as there was no limit to how many teams a major league club could be affiliated with at the time. It is a misconception that when the Newark Bears moved after the 1949 season that they moved to Kansas City, as Kansas City remained as the AAA affiliate until 1954 and then moved to Denver to become the Denver Bears. In reality, the Denver Bears name was not a nod to Newark, but rather a name that referred to bears that resided in the Rocky Mountains. Kansas City had also been an affiliate alongside the Newark Bears since 1937. The Newark Bears moved to Springfield, Massachusetts and became the Springfield Cubs, and obviously were affiliated with the Cubs and remained there for a few years until 1953. That's an extremely brief history of the original Newark Bears, but that is not the focus of this video today. The focus of this video is the team that popped up in the independent ranks in 1998 and played for 16 seasons until folding. This started with the founding of the new team by Newark native and former Yankee Rick Cerone. It was around the time of them beginning play that construction began on the brand new Riverfront Stadium, also known as Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium, a name that was a homage to the aforementioned original Newark Bears and a Negro League team called the Newark Eagles that formed in 1936 when the Newark Dodgers and Brooklyn Eagles merged into one team, then started playing at Rupert Stadium alongside the original Newark Bears until 1948, when the team was sold and moved to Houston to become the Houston Eagles. With them needing time to build the stadium, the Bears played their first year in the Atlantic League, which was also the league's first year in operation, sharing the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut with the Bridgeport Bluefish. To begin the 1999 season, the finishing touches still needed to be done in order to open Riverfront Stadium, so the Newark Bears for the first half of the season played home games at Skylands Park in Augusta, New Jersey, sharing the schedule with the New Jersey Cardinals of the New York Penn League. The schedule rarely conflicted, however, as the New York Penn League was a short season league that started in mid-June, so the first 2 months or so of the Atlantic League schedule was non-conflicting with the Cardinals, and once the Cardinals began play, it would only be a month before Newark Bears would finally have a home of their own. On July 16, 1999, the Newark Bears play their first official home game on Broad Street in Newark at a cost of $34 million. Their mascots are named Rupert and Effa, both anthropomorphic bears. Rupert, of course, refers to the man we talked about earlier, Jacob Rupert, and Effa refers to Effa Manley, the first woman to own and operate a professional baseball team, that being the Newark Eagles. Their first game was against a road team called the Lehigh Valley Black Diamonds, a team that was supposed to get a permanent home in the Lehigh Valley years before the Iron Pigs moved into Allentown, but which never happened, and the Black Diamonds faded into obscurity as they became possibly the longest tenured road team in professional baseball, never having a proper home. But that's a story for another time. The early years of the Newark Bears attracted many big names, whether they were already well known or got their start in Newark, including names like Ricky Henderson, the Canseco brothers Ozzie and Jose Lima, and many, many more. In the Bears' fourth season in 2001, they made the playoffs for the first time, boasting a record of 75-51, winning the South Division and making it to the championship round against the Somerset Patriots, where they would be defeated. It wouldn't take long for them to get back to the championship, as in the very next year, in 2002, they faced off against the Bridgeport Bluefish, the team they once shared a stadium with, for the title. The Bears would end up taking home their first championship in team history under manager Marv Foley, who managed his one and only year in Newark in this season. The Bears would not make the playoffs again until 2007 under new manager Wayne Krenchicki, and it would pay off well as they swept the best of 3 championship series and won another Atlantic League title. After a 2008 season with a positive record but still missing the playoffs, the Bears hired another new manager in Tim Raines for the 2009 season, who needs no introduction, as he is a 24-year MLB veteran who is a National League batting champion, 4-time stolen base leader, and a 7-time All-Star, and now he's taking over the Newark Bears as a manager. He would manage for 3 seasons, only making the playoffs once in his first year in 2009 and losing in a best-of-5 to the Somerset Patriots in the divisional round. Following the 2010 season, the Bears were sold to a new ownership group, and with that came a departure from the Atlantic League, often considered to this day to be the top tier of independent baseball. They would continue on, though, in the Can-Am League, a league where, as the name implies, features both Canadian and American teams in one league. There was optimism, though, as seen in this interview with one of the owners, Danielle Dronette.
The organization was significantly damaged, from the credibility to the financial situation. There was a lot of outstanding debts, and it's been very challenging trying to reach out and get the message that we are a new ownership, we are a new management group, are here to develop and make our community better, and to just bring a lot of that southern, hospitality here up north, and just give a positive message to our community and surrounding areas.
As mentioned in that clip by Danielle, there were a lot of challenges throughout the Atlantic League era of the Newark Bears, from financial troubles to sometimes just not putting a good product on the field. It was a goal of the new ownership group to take what some may have considered a bad reputation of the team and turn that around. The first year of the Can-Am League for the Bears came as they were one of 3 new entries, the others being the Rockland Boulders and a road team called the New York Federals, used to fill out a spot to ensure the league had an even number of teams. This move to the Can-Am League did spark a new geographical rivalry, with the New Jersey Jackals playing in Little Falls on the campus of Montclair State University, both teams being in Essex County and officially starting a rivalry called the County Executives Cup. From 2011 to 2013, the Bears did not post a positive record in any of those 3 seasons, finishing 6th, 4th, and 5th in the league standings, respectively. One would think that a downtown ballpark that has a train station and a bus stop out front, as well as historical ties to former teams, could attract a loyal and consistent fan base, but in the case of the Newark Bears, this was unfortunately not the case. In this video from the New York Times posted in 2014, they talked to a man working on the operations side of the team who claims that during his time on most nights they would average about 50 to a few hundred fans per night, and then on weekends and busy nights there might be 1,000 fans. On November 28th, 2012, the Can-Am League officially announced that the Newark Bears would cease operations. In early 2014, they would auction off virtually anything they could that wasn't attached to the structure itself, and then many months later we would have this tweet from their official account, which I always thought was kind of funny. This would be the only professional level tenant that Riverfront Stadium would ever have. After the Bears' departure, the stadium would continue to be used by 2 college baseball programs from Newark, that being the NJIT Highlanders and the Rutgers Newark Scarlet Raiders, but that wouldn't last for many more years. The property was bought in 2019 and demolition came soon after. During the 2020 pandemic, the now empty plot of land was used as an impromptu drive-in movie theater, which honestly wasn't a bad use of the space for what was going on at the time. There have been signs on the property for years now showing a rendering of a future development of apartments called Riverfront Square, but now in 2025 it's still just nothing. Ironically, after the closure of the stadium, NJIT went to play at Skyland Stadium, where the Bears once had to play home games while Riverfront Stadium finished construction. On YouTube, most of the videos about the Newark Bears are from 2014 and revolve around the team closing or about the liquidation sale, and this one guy that went home with an entire menu board. You also have one video I used earlier using the transition of ownership heading into 2011, as well as some random warm-up videos posted by the team themselves, as well as a couple videos of at-bats by this one player, Nook Logan, posted by completely different people as far as I can tell. Lastly, you do have this one video of a sports reporter dressing up as Rupert for a day in 2001 and being absolutely hounded by children all day. Overall, there's a lot more representation of this team than the previous episode where I covered a former team from Fayetteville, North Carolina, although a lot of it are just highlights or random 30-second clips of a game. I do like this one thumbnail though of this bird. There was also this article from a site called Tapinto Chatham, which is about the Newark Bears, both old and new teams. It's a decent article if you know nothing about the history going into it, but overall nothing really groundbreaking. The thing I just thought was funny though is the clickbait tactic of using a photo of the New York Yankees sold out spring training game in Tampa, Florida, and using it as in an article about something not even related to that stadium. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm happy that my first episode of what I'm calling Lost Baseball did decently well, and that just gives me more motivation to continue making these kinds of videos. If you have any suggestions for future topics, I would love to hear about it in the comments.